The bridge of the Terran Defiance hummed with controlled chaos. Tactical displays flickered red as plasma bolts hammered against the shields. Commander Rhea Corrin stood at the center of it all, arms crossed, watching the incoming fleet with an expression that could only be described as bored amusement. "Ma'am, the Critan Armada is closing to optimal firing range," Lieutenant Chen reported from the weapons station. "Their flagship is hailing us." "Put him through," Rhea said, barely suppressing a yawn. The view screen crackled to life, revealing Admiral Threxel in all his reptilian glory. 4 eyes burned with predatory satisfaction. His scaled crest flared in what his species considered a display of dominance. Behind him, the bridge of his dreadnought teemed with officers preparing for humanity's destruction. "Human commander," Threxel hissed, his translator rendering the words with theatrical menace. "Your pathetic vessel is surrounded by 300 warships. Surrender now and I will grant you a swift death. Resist and I will ensure your species remembers this day as the beginning of their extinction." Rhea tilted her head, studying him like a biologist observing an interesting, but ultimately harmless specimen. A smile tugged at the corner of her mouth. "You attacked us?" she said slowly, letting each word hang in the air. "Adorable." Threxel's crest flattened in confusion. "What?" "Watch this," Rhea continued, then cut the transmission before he could respond. She turned to her crew. "Gentlemen, ladies, and assorted troublemakers, time to show our new friends why humans don't get invited to Galactic Council peace summits anymore." She settled into her command chair with practiced ease. Chen dropped the masking field. "All of it." "With pleasure, ma'am." The lieutenant's fingers danced across his console. Throughout the Defiance, systems that had been running on standby roared to life. The ship's energy signature, carefully suppressed for weeks, bloomed across every sensor in the system. On Threxel's bridge, alarms shrieked. "Admiral," his sensor officer wailed. The human ship, its power output just increased by a factor of 20. "No, 30, 40! "Impossible," Threxel snarled. "Nothing that small can generate. Sir, multiple contacts decloaking. Human signatures all around us." The tactical display told a story that drained the color from Threxel's scales. Where his fleet had surrounded a single human destroyer, they were now completely encircled by Earth's third fleet. 87 warships materialized from quantum stealth. Their weapons already hot and locked, but that wasn't what made Threxel's blood run cold. "What?" he whispered. "Is that?" Emerging from behind Luna like a leviathan from the deep, the supercarrier Manifest Destiny dominated the view screen. 5 kilometers of human engineering, bristling with enough firepower to sterilize a continent. And still its hangar bays remained closed, its main batteries quiet. It didn't need to fire. Its presence alone was a statement. Rhea's voice crackled over every Critan communication channel simultaneously. "Admiral Threxel, let me educate you about humans. See, your intelligence was correct. We are a young species. We only achieved faster-than-light travel 200 years ago. Your civilization has been sailing the stars for millennia." On his bridge, Threxel's officers scrambled to re-establish encrypted channels. But Earth's cyber warfare suite had already infiltrated their entire network. There was no hiding from this conversation. "But here's the thing about young species," Rhea continued, her tone conversational, almost friendly. "We're still aggressive, still territorial, still remember what it takes to survive against impossible odds. Your people forgot that, didn't you? Got comfortable. Got complacent." The Defiance rotated slowly, presenting its dorsal surface to the Critan flagship. Armor plating retracted, revealing rows of missile tubes. "You brought 300 ships to intimidate one destroyer," Rhea said. "We brought a fleet to deliver a message. Your choice which message we send." Threxel stared at his tactical display, watching targeting locks from 100 human warships paint every vessel in his armada. His weapons officer looked at him with 4 wide, terrified eyes. "How?" the Admiral managed. "Our scouts confirmed you had no fleet assets in this sector." "Your scouts," Rhea said, and he could hear the smile in her voice, "saw exactly what we wanted them to see. We've been shadowing your fleet for 3 weeks. Did you really think we wouldn't notice 300 warships staging at our border?" She leaned forward, and though he couldn't see her, Threxel felt the weight of her gaze through the comm channel. "Let me make this simple, Admiral. You have 2 options. Option 1. You turn around, go home, and report that humanity is not interested in whatever conquest fantasy your government is entertaining. Option 2. You refuse, we demonstrate why Earth fought 17 different wars before we even left our home system. And you still go home, just in smaller pieces. The bridge of the Critan flagship fell silent except for the persistent warning alarms. Your weapons are locked on us, Threxel said, grasping for something, anything that might give him leverage. If you fire, it will be an act of war. The Galactic Council, Rhea interrupted, has very specific rules about self-defense. You initiated hostile action in our territory. We're well within our rights to respond with overwhelming force. Besides, she added, voice dropping to something colder, the Council isn't here. We are. Threxel looked at his officers, looked at the tactical display showing 300 ships surrounded by 87. The math didn't matter. He could see it in every human vessel's posture. They weren't afraid. They were eager. Stand down, he ordered quietly. Navigation set course for Critan space. Best speed. Wise choice, Admiral, Rhea said. Oh, and Threxel? One more thing, yes? Tell your government that Earth is always recruiting. We prefer allies to enemies. But if they choose enemies, we're really good at that too. The Critan armada turned and jumped to hyperspace within the hour. On the Defiance, Lieutenant Chen looked up from his console. Ma'am, should we stand down? Commander Rhea Corin watched the last of the alien ships vanish from sensors. Not yet, Lieutenant. Let's make sure they're really gone. And someone get me a coffee. Preferably one that doesn't taste like recycled deck plating. Behind her, the crew allowed themselves brief grins. Humanity had just delivered its first message to the wider galaxy. We might be young, but we grew up fighting. And we're very, very good at it.